Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Let's start right with weather tonight and meteorologist Michelle Boss. Michelle, our local ski areas finally got some much needed snow. The question now, when will we see snow down here in the valleys?
Yeah, well, we certainly didn't get it today. Of course, we had temperatures in the low 40s earlier this evening, so way too warm for snow in those lower elevations. We did get a little bit of rainfall today. We will start to see some cooler temperatures for later this week, which will certainly help any additional precipitation that comes in to be in the form of snow rather than rain. But still sitting above freezing right now in Spokane, 35 degrees. 35 in Coeur d'Alene, 37 in Deer Park. So still pretty mild out there, especially for this time of year. So as we look at what precipitation is falling, we saw a little bit of rainfall in Spokane, rain in the Coeur d'Alene area. Pullman, they switched over to snow briefly, then it went back to rain. We are seeing some snow in the higher terrain, of course, and up in the northern valleys in North Idaho and northeastern Washington. A few winter weather advisories in effect for tonight through noon on Tuesday, mainly for the higher terrain across the central Idaho panhandle. Next 12 hours going to be cloudy, but temperatures will remain above freezing through the morning commute tomorrow, so really no weather issues tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies with a high of 37, but turning colder for Wednesday and Thursday, and snow showers returning by Wednesday night.
Right, Michelle, thank you very much. Looking ahead to tomorrow, workers must be fully vaccinated to comply with Kootenai Health's COVID-19 vaccine requirement. The hospital had planned to require all employees to be fully vaccinated by last week, but they pushed that back until today. So they will push forward with requiring employees to be vaccinated despite a federal court order pausing the mandate. Staff will have to be vaccinated or have an approved exemption. As of Friday, 21% of staff had requested an exemption. 99% of them have had that granted. Also tomorrow, the man police say randomly opened fire on people at a gas station in Post Falls will be back in court. Earlier this month, police say 32-year-old Tyson Sturkle pulled up to Kokopelli Coffee located in the parking lot of a gas station on Highway 41 and randomly started firing at cars in the middle of the day. 2 men were hurt in that shooting, including one man who was hit in the neck. Both are expected to recover. Sturkle, meantime, is facing 12 charges. During his first court appearance, his bond was set at $2 million. The verdict is in. A Spokane County jury has found a Cheney man guilty of killing his wife in 2018 by poisoning her ice cream. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was in the courtroom today as that verdict was handed down, and she has more now on what family members had to say about the verdict.
Now, when the judge read the verdict, you could feel the shock in the courtroom. In fact, I saw David Pettis slump down in disbelief. Now, while some family members are relieved by the jury's decision, others are in disbelief.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Mr. David LaRue Pettis, guilty of the crime of premeditated murder in the first degree as charged.
After 3 days of deliberation, a Spokane County jury found David Pettis guilty of killing his wife, Peggy. He did this by lacing her ice cream with lethal amounts of prescription drugs.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Is this the verdict of this jury?
Yes, it is.
The niece of the victim, Peggy Pettis, spoke with us after the verdict was read. Katrina Mabe says she and her family felt relief with the jury's decision, but she told me no matter what the outcome would have been, it was not going to be easy for her family.
This is a very rough time for our family. Dave was a part of our family for 35 years. We are relieved that there's a resolution, and we hope that our family can now go forward with healing.
Right after the judge left the courtroom, Pettis' daughter Elizabeth Culp rushed to hug her father.
Just that he loves me and to direct me to who I needed to be with to help.
She insists Pettis is not guilty of murdering her mother. She believes this because she lived with her parents and claims she saw her mother take hydrocodone on the weekends.
I feel awful. I feel even more awful than I did before. Because I know that my dad didn't kill her, and it certainly wasn't premeditated.
Pettis is now in custody at Spokane County Jail tonight, and his sentencing is set for January 12th. Reporting from the Spokane County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Protesters are back outside the Spokane City Hall demanding the city open more shelter space. A similar protest took place back in 2018 where police cleared out the camp and arrested 2 people. This time, about 70 tents are set up near City Hall, according to the homeless advocacy group Jules Helping Hands. They claim the city scrambles every year to open a warming shelter when temperatures drop in the winter, even though they have plenty of money to do so. Organizer Julie Garcia says they can no longer stand quietly watching people suffering. during what she calls the city's inaction.
These guys are dying out here. We are not sure how to address this. We've tried doing it every means necessary. We've sent emails, we've come down here, we've talked to people, but no one seems to pay attention until they actually have to see homelessness.
Meantime, the city of Spokane says the shelter system is not full. Over the past 3 nights, the city says 90 to 100 beds have been available at low barrier shelters. The city says continuing to monitor the situation to ensure the health and safety of all and to maintain access to nearby businesses. No timeline has been set yet to remove those tents. We now know the name of the man killed by an avalanche on Crystal Mountain. Robert Wiesel died Saturday in the backcountry ski area. 5 others were hurt. Our sister station in Seattle's Glenn Farley explains why the weekend avalanche is raising concerns about the risk of even more.
This is what wind-driven avalanche conditions look like in good weather after the storms. Not only the formation of cornices of overhanging snow, but below additional slabs of wind-driven accumulation which builds up on slopes. Both are serious avalanche hazards.
5 seconds out.
About 10 years ago, I spent the day with the ski patrol at Crystal Mountain to watch major avalanche control work in flyable weather. In this case, preparing to drop explosives out of a helicopter as we flew along behind.
The large charges that we throw today are 50-pound.
Paul Bogger, now retired, led these avalanche control efforts back then.
We had some tremendous avalanches and really of historic proportions.
This can give you an idea of what that group of skiers was caught in on Saturday. I spoke with Bogger again today, and he says Saturday's avalanche was storm-driven. The buildup of a snow slab sitting on a weak layer of snow below it. Everything seems fine until something or someone triggers it.
The difference between backcountry skiing and skiing within the ski area boundary. And they're 2 really completely different sports in terms of the amount of risk that the user's taken on.
Peter Dale was there back then. He's now Crystal's mountain manager.
Speaking with this group in the days here after the incident, they did a lot of things right. They did have the proper equipment, they did have the proper training, and they did check the avalanche forecast.
So this is the danger rating system that's used in the United States.
King 5's Rich Marriott is an avalanche expert and was part of the formation of the Northwest Weather and Avalanche Center 46 years ago. Conditions on Saturday were orange, standing for considerable, not high, not extreme, but not without serious risk.
What does that mean?
It means that there is a great deal of avalanche danger around, and if you are going to travel in avalanche terrain, you need to take extra precautions.
There were some conditions that were quite hazardous that day with a bunch of new snow and a bunch of wind, and they ended up in a spot that they didn't want to be in and ultimately got in trouble for it.
Glenn Farley, KREM 2 News.
Governor Jay Inslee rolled out his climate priorities for next year this morning. It's a $626 million proposal to reduce the state's emissions 45% by the year 2030. As part of the plan, the governor wants more investments in clean transportation. Among other things, he is proposing $100 million for a rebate program to reduce the costs of buying electric vehicles.
Currently, our state's primary incentive for zero-emission vehicle purchases comes from a sales tax exemption, but that is woefully inadequate to the task at hand.
The proposal will now head to the state legislature. The new session starts on January 10th. Today marks 1 year since COVID vaccines started going into the arms of people right here in the U.S. In the year since then, more than 11 million shots have been given out in Washington. More than 67% of eligible Spokane County residents have started the vaccination process, and 61% are considered fully vaccinated. All right, still ahead tonight. Spokane, you have a new UFC champion. I got the chance to chat one-on-one with Juliana Pena today. I'll share her thoughts on the fight, plus what's next for her. Also, later in the broadcast, a group of real estate experts outlines what they think the city needs to do to create more affordable housing. We're back after a quick break.